Alright, we're in. Let's start the tutorials of life game design. And the first one I wanted to show you was this dashboard tutorial. Basically, I want to get you comfortable with exploring how the dashboard works, never getting lost within the template, and just how to create and interact with all these tabs here, because it looks very minimal now, but we can expand these if we want to interact with the different areas, achievements, and so on. So the first thing we need to know is how to navigate this thing. This is our navigation bar here, and you'll recognize from the colors that these are the different OctaCore areas and the different special pages. Special and OctaCore are the same, just remember that. So if I click this, it will always take us back to the dashboard. So I'm going to click on a random link here and get lost within the template, but I'll see that this dashboard, this navigation bar is always here for me to return to the dashboard whenever I want. So I just have to click this thing. I'm going to zoom in just so you can see it a bit better. I just have to click the game controller emoji and it will always take me back to the dashboard here. So just keep that in mind when you do some of your own exploring within the different pages in the Life Game Design app. And let's go into the other special pages so you have a feel for it. We won't go too in depth with them, but I'll just show you what they look like. This is the strength page. Over here with all of these OctaCore pages, they are identical. So you'll be able to see all of the different notes, tasks, projects, achievements, and areas just within strength, just within your physical health. And if you forget what strength represents, it has all of the descriptions here. Or if we go to the dashboard, it has all of the descriptions within the special views over here. So it says strength is to do with physical health and training. And to remember it easier in terms of the infinity stones, it's related to the power stone and the color purple. So I can go to any one of the special pages. And like I said, they're all identical. So it makes it really easy to learn if you just learn one of them. And let's go back to the dashboard. Cool. So now that we know that we can always come back to the dashboard quite easily using that button, let's open up the easiest way to navigate this app. And so all the navigation in terms of these different links here that take you to different parts of the app to do different activities, if you use these links, it will show you a dashboard. So let's go into the hub views. And this page will show you all of the different places that we can go within the hub views. To keep it really simple with the databases that you've already learnt in the tutorial, you have areas, projects, tasks, and notes. And so you can see our dashboard page is already here, our navigation bar. Let's click into areas. So if we ever wanted to deep dive into a specific page without seeing the clutter of everything else, we can come to these specific pages. And the same is true with all of these. Now, it's going to be hard for you to understand how to use all of these in reference to what they are and what you use them for. But each of these views are going to have a video tutorial included with them. So at the moment, we're just getting comfortable with using Notion, creating pages, creating projects, tasks, and notes, and etc. So with that in mind, let's have a look at the Quip Catcher page. This is it right over here, where we can really quickly add new notes, add new tasks, and new projects. I'll show you what it looks like just creating a new note. So I click that page, and something we have to get used to as well with the Life Game Design app is selecting the different templates. Because if we don't select a template, our note will still show, but they won't be automatically organized by each area of OctaCore. So let's say I found a note, or I have an idea about something to do with strength, my physical health. Let's say I want to have this note about a training program I found. So let me type that in. So I've got this note on the new training program, and I can type in the key points of the note here. Let's just say I want to do a upper lower body split for weightlifting. Okay, Cool. So I have this note. Now if I want to see that note, after I click away from it, from the quick capture, I can come into here, into all of my active notes. And by default, whenever you create a new note, it's going to be in the active status. And so the notes tab allows me to see which notes are active in either a view of a minimal list, or I can see them based on this gallery view, which lets me see inside of the note. And it's really handy, especially when you're taking the key points like it says here, and you make a bullet list of the crucial information that you would need in order to interact with the note properly. So these are the ways you can interact with your notes. There's also a links page that will automatically show you the active links. Active, I mean by the focus or active status. It will show you any note which has a URL. So if we want to change or add a URL, you open up the page. Let me zoom in here so you can see. There is this URL section here. And let's say I delete this, you'll see it disappear from that database. So let me copy it just so we can add it back quickly. So now it's not in the links, but let's add it back by finding that wallpaper. I'm going to add a URL over here, paste it in. And now if we go back to the links page, it will be there. So it's really handy if you found videos and such that you want to reference again. And that is pretty much it for the notes. You can also see all of your notes in a table view, or you can search your notes, which is really easy. All I have to do is come to this search page, click the magnifying glass in the top right, and then search what I was looking for. So let's say I was looking for that training program note. It will instantly filter out everything else once you type something in. And this is identical for all the other tasks, projects, and areas with this search button over here and with this task icon, which shows me everything in tasks. So it's going to be identical for all of those. So now that we're comfortable with notes, let's go one level higher with tasks. So with tasks, it's pretty much the same thing. If there's any tasks that come up to you in the day-to-day, something like, let's say you have to run some errands, and that would be under persistence, because persistence is all about life maintenance and life routines. So I create the task, I come to the persistence main task template, and it will automatically generate the template that I'm looking for. And so I can add some subtasks like grocery, shopping, meal prep, etc. And I can take some notes as well in this page. Let me click out of here to make it disappear. And so, yeah, I can either look at it from here. I can separate out all the tasks that are just focusing if I click on this page, just so I can see and move everything that are not relevant really. I can either do that by using these toggles here, or I can just come to this page and it will only show the focusing tasks, which is really handy if you've got a massive list of tasks from things in your life and you just want to see what are the things that I need to focus on. You can also see a list of your recent achievements. So over here it says going to the gym and grocery shopping is something that I've achieved recently. And I can also have a look at the calendar of the dates that have been set. So let me show you what that looks like. Let's say run some errands. I need to do that today. And I'll see it pop up in my calendar right over here. And like we discussed, there are the all tasks. So I can see everything that I have in every single status. And I can also, instead of being grouped by status, I can just press the search button and search for a task that I have. So if I just type in task, secret, you've got the secret task that you would have seen in the tutorial. And closing that, now let's move on to something that is a bit more advanced, which is projects. And projects, remember, if we look at this diagram here, projects can have tasks and notes and have them all connected to each other, which is really handy. So let's see what this looks like. And just remember that in the tutorial, I mentioned that these different colors of the database tabs means that you either can freely create and there won't be any problems, or you just have to be cautious with how you add pages or edit pages if it's orange. And then red means that you shouldn't be adding pages, you should only be editing pages in this view. So if we want to know why it's orange, we can either understand from the use that we will have from our common sense, or we can hover over this and read as to exactly why it's orange. In this case, whenever you make a project, because the way that main projects and sub projects are stacked, you can only have one. Let me zoom in to help you guys see that. Let's see if that. Okay, I'll show you a diagram. Because of the way projects are stacked, it means, let me drag this over here for you. Okay, so here is a project that has tasks and nodes. Projects can also have sub-projects, meaning that it's just dividing the project into smaller parts, so it's easier for you to accomplish it. But we don't want to put main projects within sub-projects. Let me show you what that looks like practically. So I'll zoom into here. You can see that this project here is called Learn Life Game Design, which is what you'll be focusing on at the moment. And within Learn Life Game Design, there is another project called Notion Tutorials. If I were to create a new main project within here, you can see by the different icons that these stack of disks are the main projects and that this bullseye target is the sub-projects. If I make a new main project in here, it's going to screw with the cascading of how I can see everything within the original main project. So that's why it's labeled orange, and that's why we don't do that. So the easiest way to avoid that is whenever you are adding sub-projects into a main project, just go to the main project and then add it from here, and you'll have no problem with how it cascades. You'll have no problem at all. It will just help you instantly add them. And now let's see what that looks like. Yeah, now it automatically adds them without me having to select the template. All right, let me delete these. I can also see what I have on just in terms of focusing projects. Again, I have a calendar to set the date of when I want to do projects, and I can see all of the projects I have within using this icon and the same search function there. Cool. Let's make a project together, which is probably going to be something to do with a training program. Let's say it's a big thing. Let's say I am creating a new training program. And I'll show you the power of Notion itself combined with the power of Life Game Design in creating projects that sync with the different special areas and that also allow you to have sub-projects, tasks, and notes within them. So if I come here, I've got let's open this up in full view. And you can see that within every main project, there is a new dashboard navigation bar created. So if I open this up in full view, it would be really easy for me to get back to the dashboard just like this. So let's open this up again because we're comfortable with going into different pages. And let's say in terms of the sub-projects that I have to do for creating a new training program, I have to do research, training styles, create my own program, and let's say I have to test it out. Ooh. Test out the program. So this makes it really easy for me to just, break up this massive task into smaller bite-sized pieces. I can also create tasks based on this, and the first one to be to look at YouTube videos on training. And I can also have notes tied to this. So I can either save YouTube videos that I find on the internet by using notes. So let's do an example. I'm going to look up YouTube. I'm going to look up my boy Jeff Nippard. Push pull legs. This is one of the first training programs that I ever did. So if you try this out, you probably won't go wrong. So let's say I find this video, I want to save it to my notes, and I save it within this project. So that means I don't have to open up another app to search for my notes. It's all in here. I'm going to put it into the media tab. Then I'm going to paste in the URL. And I'm just going to say Jeff Nippard PPL push pull legs training split. Cool, so I've got that. If I want to come back to it and decide whether I actually want to do this training split or do some others. And all the other training splits that I find, let's say I do a upper lower instead. Full upper body, upper lower program. Let's see. Or let's say I get distracted like I am now and be like, oh, these are some really cool ways to do pull-ups. Maybe I'll put them in my program. Again, I'm going to put it in media. Awesome pull-up advice. So whenever I come to find the notes on a specific thing, I can tie them to a project like this and have it with and see it in the same place as the tasks that I have and the sub-projects that I have. This is how powerful it is, because if you weren't using this, this means that you would be opening, so you would have a app for your project, you would have an app for your tasks, and then you would have an app for your notes, and you'd also probably have an app for your calendar for when you're going to do it. But literally all of those things are in one place, meaning that you just have so much power to do so much more, and so much more efficiently and more organized. Anyways, that's pretty much it with projects and how far you can go. And now we can see that our active projects, our focusing projects, is in here in our focus tab, which is create a new training program. I can instantly come to my dashboard and see, like, what am I focusing on in my life right at this moment? I can be like, boom, there it is, learning life game design and creating a new training program. I can also see, let's say I set some dates for this. So today, or maybe tomorrow, I want to create my training program. And I want to do some research on it today. And then I want to actually test it out on Thursday. I can come to my calendar, and now I can see the regression of what that's going to look like and see it with all the other things that I have on in my life. Cool. So that's it for projects. Now, I guess I should show you what an achievement looks like. So this is the achievements, and it ties into the projects because all of your achievements stem from your projects. That's why the projects has the status that says achieved. So let's say I already did all of this stuff. Let's pretend I did all of this stuff. We're going to see everything pop up here. I have to put it in the past because this recent means that it's everything. If I click the filter here, you'll see filters allow you to show different stuff in the database. It's a bit complicated for new users, but this just tells me that it's showing me everything from the last 30 days. So if anything isn't from the last 30 days, it won't show here, but I can go to the OctaCore page and it will show here instead. So I've got all of these, and let me put these in the past so they all show up together. So I did that. You see how they're popping up now? Now that I've put it in the past, and this is the last one to do it. Cool. So as soon as I complete all of these projects, I get that reinforcement of the things that I've done instantly. And that's what we really want to do. We want to create an undeniable stack of proof that we are designing the life that we want to have. And this is it here. And there's different ways that we can see this. So we can either see it based on the distribution, based on all the different areas of OctaCore. So this immediately shows me where I'm putting my time and attention, because the more I have in here, that means the more time, effort, and energy I'm spending over here. And the same with all the different areas if they were filled up. Cool, so that's how achievements work. And then finally we have areas, which is the highest tier. And so areas is going to contain everything that we've just done. It's going to contain projects, tasks, and notes. So let me show you what it looks like. So the thing is, you have your OctaCore Attributes, and then within your OctaCore Attributes, let's click into it to see what it means. You have areas within your OctaCore Attributes. Again, I'll show you the diagram so you understand how that works. Let's zoom out. It's this one here. So our OctaCore Attributes: strength, persistence, experience, creativity, contribution, intelligence, attachment, and LifeForce. All of these are a page by themselves, like the strength page here. And each of these pages, like in the diagram, contains an area. They also contain projects, tasks, and notes that have to do with all of those templates. So every time we select a template for notes, tasks, projects, then it sends it to this over here. It will send it to the relevant category of special. And I'll show you that all of the notes we just took and all of the tasks we just made will show up here. So you can see that these are the tasks, these are the notes that we've done, and they're showing up here. This is the pull-up advice, the training split, and the same with the tasks if we open that up. So this one says, look at YouTube videos on training, and that is from our create a new training project. And the same with projects. We can see the projects that we've made, that's right over here. So create a new training program, and also the achievements. It will show us all the achievements we have to do just with strength. And now let's go into areas. So I've already made a weightlifting page, but just to show you, let's go into a new one. Let's score this training. And so now this has automatically created a template for me. And within areas, there are sub areas, which have everything up to projects, tasks, and notes, but it's within an area. That is a bit of an advanced use case. If you're a beginner, don't worry about sub areas. You won't really need them unless you're doing really focused research on something. But anyways, we can see all of the achievements, projects, and tasks and notes within a sub area. So it's really handy if I had a bunch of areas within my physical health. Let's say I've got running as an area. Let's say I have my doctor's notes and things like that as an area. I have all these different things that I don't want to see them all together. I want to separate them out. So that's why I would come here and do it like that. So I would create projects in here. Let me link the projects so you can see how that works. I'm going to come into this search tab. Over here I can link main areas like this. Cool, that's linked to here. And now, let me see. I want this to show up here. I'll put these over here as well. Now we should see these. Oh, that's my mistake. I was putting it into weightlifting. We need to put this into training. This is the training page. So if I link these to training, there we go. Spooked myself. Okay, now it shows up. So now that we linked this main project, it has automatically linked all of these sub-projects to do with this. And this allows me to see everything just to do with this project and separate it from things like learning life game design, because I don't want to be able to see all of the stuff that has to do with learning life game design when I'm trying to make a new training program. So yeah, this page really helps you separate all of those things. And this will be really important, especially if you have a whole bunch of dedicated research to something. And now you can see it's actually also linked in my tasks and the notes that I've already took within that project. That is how powerful this whole system is, because we went from just being able to see the tasks and notes inside the project, but now we can have multiple projects within our areas and see them side by side. So I can make a whole bunch of things to do with training. Let's say I'm doing some PRs or something. Pull up personal record. And I'm going to track them using sub-projects. So I'm just going to make them achieved already. Let's say I did 8 pull-ups, free weight, and then I went on to doing 8 pull-ups with 5 kg strapped onto me. I'm going to set the date for those so we would be able to see it up here. I'll show you that live. So I'm going to scroll up here, and as soon as I set the date, you're going to be able to see it in there. Boom. So it says 8 pull-ups, free weight there. And let's set the date for this one. Boom. Now I can see all of the achievements that I have to do with these things, right? And so, yeah, this is the power of Notion, of this system of life game design, all done pretty much within the dashboard. And so when we go into the other tutorials later, it will allow you to access all of that information that we've made in terms of these and just manipulate it in different ways. See it either more simply or organize that information so it's easier for us to use in our daily lives. So if I ever want to go into the areas that I have, I can come to this dashboard page here, which will show me my OctaCore areas or special areas, same thing. I can see which special areas I have in focus. I can also see a different view of them, just like this. And more importantly, I can see the main areas that I have within all of those OctaCore areas if I come here. So I can quickly access them if I click on any of these. So if I wanted to go back to that training area that I had that has my new training project, just so I can add some more stuff to it, I just click that and it opens up, and I can click here to open it up in a full page. And yeah, I can really just expand on all of this if I needed to do that dedicated research or make a plan for myself, set a vision, set my priorities, etc. So that is pretty much it for the dashboard. There's one more thing, I guess a tip or trick that I would love to show you, and that is number 1, using the sidebar to access and come back to this space. So if I end up in a page where I can't get to the dashboard, let's say the easiest way to do that is to go into a sub project. So I've opened a project. Now I'm going to open a sub project. If I open this all the way and hide that, I don't have my dashboard anymore. So if I want to go back home, then I really have to use the sidebar. And over here, you're going to see the name of the page of the dashboard. So again, if I get lost, I'm all good. I can just come here and do that. And we're back. Back home, back in a comfortable space. And one more power feature that you can do within here, within your dashboard, is set favorite pages. So if I know that I'm going to be playing around with these 2 pages over here, learn life game design and creating new training program, I can set it to my favorites, and the favorites page I'll show you later where they can be found in most spaces in your workspace. The way that we link these pages is either by right-clicking and doing the copy link. Let me zoom in again so you can really see that clearly. So I right-click on the page, copy link, and then paste it in here. So I've copied it. I'm going to press Control V on my keyboard. And you can either mention page or link to page. It's pretty much the same thing. When I click that, it will have this link here. And as soon as I click that, it will open the page for me in full view. So that's really handy if there's going to be some projects, tasks, or notes that you really have to easily access. And let's do it one more time. I'm going to right click, copy link, Control V to paste it in here, mention page. And now it's in my favorites bar, which is really easy to access. I'm going to show you the different ways that you can find that favorites bar. So they are in all of the special pages. So it says here, faves, which are favorites, of course. So I click here and I can see these links, which are really easy to get to once again. So I can click and go straight to that project, or they are found in these hub views, utility views, all of these different navigation views. So if I go to my projects hub views, in the menu over here, again, my favorites are right here, so I can easily access them wherever. So if you have some things in mind that you would like to put in your favorites, that's a really good idea to do. I'm just going to delete these. And I think that's about it. Let me double check if there's anything else I wanted to mention. Yeah, that's it. I think with this tutorial, I tried to keep it as short as possible, but there's so much to cover. I think once we go into the next tutorials with the hub views, utility views and such, now that I've given you this context, I can be so much more direct with what I'm showing you, so I don't have to tell you about the structuring of projects and things like that. This has given you such a good overview of how to create all of these different things, so that when we get into the next tutorials, we can just get straight to it, access the best features of life game design, and show you how to really design a fulfilling life using this app. So that's it for the tutorial. Thank you so much